Okay, further updates on our bearing situation. I had to take the collars off the bearings to find out what the problem was, and then I discovered this. You can see this enough. The new bearing, can you not focus on that? Anyway, you can see that the new bearing is ever so slightly wider, like a millimetre wider than the old one. See that? And that's preventing it, that edge sliding in here. For example, the old bearing, look at that, it's a very snug fit. Very snug fit. Try it again. The old bearing is a very snug fit. The new one, with slightly increased diameter, simply won't pass into the housing. So I can either take it back, but it's part of the kit, so they won't change this for me. Or I can take that edge off. What I think I'll do is I'll take that edge off, and if I screw it up, I'll just use the old one. So that's okay, guys. You see itself. This is the new bearing. I've ground this edge down ever so much by rubbing it with the tape strip. And now after a little bit of rubbing, Jesus, nice and snug. Now, I really hope that isn't a precision edge, because I did my best, but you see this slight wear there on the webbing. Hope it's not a pressure surface. My ham-fisted attempt at being precise, but it's okay. I need to put the collar back on this. This thing back on here, which I believe like that. So there we go. What I'm going to do is give it another touch of lithium. Clean first, in case I just settled on it while I was out. Just a touch. That'll do. Like that. And I'll take stab the excess. As I said, centrifugal force can if you use normal axle bearing grease on this, you're asking for problems, because centrifugal force will throw that off, and it will find its way to the clutch plate, and it will slip like crazy, and all your hard work will be for nothing. So there you go. And there's the bearing in place. What else I need to do now is put these straps open there. Right, that's that. What I need to do is, I'll show it to you. I need to install the pilot bearing, which is this thing, little tiny thing here. What I'll do is, this goes, Roxy, another rescued dog. Go on, kid, move, Roxy, move. Come on. One of the 4 rescue dogs we've got at the moment. Right. This bearing, if you remember, goes in here. Open. This thing. In here, we're first of all, we've got to get the old one out. And there are, wow, it's dry. No wonder it was complaining so much. Now, I hope I don't have to take the flywheel off to do this. Taking the flywheel off isn't anything, it's only these 6 bolts, but it's something else you've got to do, you know. So what I need to do is, there are various methods of getting this thing out. The old-fashioned methods of filling this cavity here with grease, or bread even. sticking a piece of metal, which is a very nice snug fit, sliding fit in here, and then whacking it with a hammer so that when it forces it in, the grease is squirted out and it brings the bearing with it. There are also various tools like little claw tools that pull it out, slide hammers, so on and so forth, none of which I've got. But what I'll have to do is I'll try and make one just to try and get this out. So let me have to think about that and I'll get back to you. Okay guys, I've made a rough tool which I hope will try and extract the pilot bearing. It's nothing, just a split piece of metal with starting to right in here with two little hooks on the end. You see like that? Split there, then the metal expands. A bolt, a couple of nuts, and a piece of tube that goes in there like that. And then what happens is, with 3 hands through this. What happens is, the pilot bearing, which is in the flywheel, these get pushed inside, or they get hammered inside actually, like that. So it goes like that, and then hopefully when I wind this screw on the end, this should get extracted up this tube, pulling the old bearing with it. Yeah, in theory. Well, let's give it a go. Right, as you can see, the tool is hammered in to the old pilot bearing. So now I'll wind it down. Right, excuse me a minute, I'll need both hands through. Well, it's getting kind of late now, but I should have mentioned before, but I had to take I need to take the flywheel off. Yeah, my tool that I made, this tool, taking the pilot bearing out, like this, and winding it out. Yeah, oh, it worked fine. In fact, it overworked. It worked so much. You can't really see that. Give me a little touch. Oh, I'm just down here by the light. It tore the sensor straight out of it, of the pilot bearing, which kind of bugged me. And I've been trying for the past couple of hours to try and get the rest of it out. But no, I just can't do it. So I decided in the end to take the flywheel off. But these nuts, oh boy, they are super tight under normal circumstances, but this one, I think the Hulk put them on and he didn't want them to come off, and the motor, it kept turning and turning, so I tried everything I could to lock the motor into position. I put spanners on the front crankshaft bolt, but it just kept breaking free. I mean, the nut came undone, the main nut. I tried everything to grip the flywheel, but it just didn't work. And before anybody says, why didn't you put something in the spark plug hole to stop the piston rising? Yeah, I'm not a fan of that at all. I've seen too many valves being bent accidentally under such things. So, what I was forced to do was make this here doohickey, if you can see that. It's 2 pieces of angle iron welded together, 2 bolts into the pressure plate holes and 1 bolt into the transmission mounting hole. And then I used my vast assortment of tools which I've been trying. God, that trash truck is noisy. And then eventually, after I locked this thing into position, I used my big breaker bar with a 17mm socket, gave it a tug, and then yes, they are finally all loose. I was a bit worried there for a minute that they were left-handed thread and I was actually going to snap them all off, but no, it was all okay. So what I need to do is just take off my little doohickey here with the older useless one. And why are you using it, people may ask? It's because it's easy to use this with one hand. Is to try and these sockets and stuff with the other. Yeah, so look, there's the thing go. Just 2 pieces of angle iron, crudely welded together and crudely ground out. But it did the job, so can't complain. Now, let me take these bolts out. It's getting kind of dark here now, as you can see. I am so pissed that the pilot bush broke. The pilot thing broke, but what can you do? But the tool kind of worked. These feel oily. It's getting kind of dark. I'll call it quits in a second. Just see if this thing breaks free. Yeah, they've got oil all over them. It smells really strong of oil as well. Why is that? Why do they smell so strong of oil? Forgive me, I need to put the camera down a second. Right, the flywheel's off. It's there. Oh, right, second heavy. Isn't taking heavy. I'll have a better look at that in the morning. But one little thing there is worrying me now is if I take off the splash guard, it has oil dripping down it here. You see that? So I take it off. Oh. I don't know if you can see this, but there is oil under the flange. Yeah, that's not good. I do think in the end the main rear engine oil seal, which is that pink thing, is leaking, and which is one of the reasons why the clutch started slipping so horrendously. Oh, bugger. I'm not sure how to replace that on this engine, whether I've got to take the engine out or whether I can do it in a situation, I don't know. But what I'll do is I'll do some investigation tonight and see what it says. Maybe not be leaking, it might just be there from above, but there's no wet running from above, you see. Just that yeah, well, alright, I'll check that in the morning.